This Health Minute is brought to you by St. Francis Health. We listen, we heal.
All right, as we mentioned a moment ago, social media can be good or bad for young people, and Mandy Gaither takes a look at how parents can keep your kids safe.
It can be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, social media can connect teens with similar interests and help them establish their identities. But there's also a downside.
Keep in mind, teenagers really have not known a world without social media. For many of them, it is their entire world.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says teen brains are still developing, including that area responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and judgment.
That means teens are more primed to be easily gratified, to be on social media more often.
Since social media is designed to suck everyone in, adults included, and keep you there, stopping the scroll can be hard.
The algorithms are designed to feed the content that grabs your interest. The hearts and the likes then keep you engaged, and you're constantly looking for more.
To keep teens safe, the U.S. Surgeon General advises parents to create a family media plan with healthy technology boundaries. Keep tech-free zones to encourage children to foster in-person friendships, model responsible social media behavior, teach responsibility by explaining risks and benefits of using different apps, and explain reporting options when it comes to cyberbullying, online abuse, and exploitation.
Living without social media doesn't seem plausible nowadays, but living with it in a healthy way seems to be something we can all aim to do.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.